To wrap things up, what do you see as the number one need for Opelika, and how can all of us contribute to meeting that need?
The I think the number one need is the communication. The communication of the constituents, it's communication of our city, it's of our city departments. Um, as a city councilman and hearing the complaints from the citizens, sometimes I go to the city and I say, well, this is the complaint. This is what they're complaining about. And they're like, oh, well, it's not that, it's this. And it shows me they've known about it.
Mm.
And the fact that I don't know about it is really hard for me because I'm uninformed at that point. So I definitely, the communication between our council and between our city government and our administration is crucial. I cannot be, I mean, more straightforward than that. That is so crucial because when things are getting fixed or are getting looked at, we need to know what that process is so we can give that feedback back to the residents so that they know that it just wasn't spoken to a void and nothing's happening, that there's a process and it's getting worked on, and they're willing to be patient if they know that they need to be patient. On the other side is for our residents, whenever I first got elected, the three big things still: communication, transparency, and accessibility. And one thing that we wanted to do, and I say we, is because it takes all of us, is the we put all our agendas on Facebook. If you want to get the agenda, you can go to the city website and go to the city clerk side and go to the minutes and agendas and then download it if you'd like. But it's just easier as you're perusing Facebook at night or during the day. Oh, this is what they're doing. Let me see what they're doing. And we get a lot of feedback with that. I tell people all the time, if you have any questions, please give me a call. And people do. My city council days, my family does not call me on Tuesdays because they know that I'm usually on the phone most of the day talking to people and just updating people. That's important for us to do because that's their tax dollars that are getting spent on all these things. And people always have questions, whether it's as elementary as it can possibly get or expert side as it possibly can get.
Now, are those meetings available to watch online?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other side of it. I put on there, these are the agendas for both the work session and the regular session, that meetings are always open to the public in 300 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard over at the Municipal Court Center. And I also put on there the YouTube link for it. So people can just go straight there and they can watch it.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But that's a big part of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a sounding board for all the great things that are going on in our community. And if you look at our Facebook page, if you go to Todd Rauch City Council Ward 5, you'll see years, not just the last 5 years. You'll see several years back of just a lot of the promoting on what's going on in our city. So your trash schedule, your recycling schedule, when the Veterans Day, speaker, who it's going to be. We're doing a Freedom Fest this year, so we're going to have a Veterans Day parade. We'll put that out. But the great things that our police department, our fire department, everyone's doing. But you can put this out there and you can, lead people to the water, but you can't make them drink. So I know that there are lots of constituents and doing a lot of door knocking that don't have that opportunity or don't have Facebook, don't use Facebook for that reason, or don't want to use Facebook. So this is all a evolving thing. In 2020, it seemed like, okay, this is great. And it's been going gangbusters. But while I've been door knocking, some people are like, well, I didn't know that. Or, I don't use Facebook. I'm all social media for right now, just taking a break, which I can't blame them. So what we did is taken my website, which is Todd Rauch for Opelika.com, and 4 as the number 4. And echoing everything on there so people can just go straight to our website. And it's got the agendas. We've been tinkering with it. I'm trying to get how I want it to look and without taking away from any of the other informational side of it. But putting the agendas on there. We've got the forums on there right now for all 4 of the forums or meet and greets for the candidates. And so we're using that as an additional platform. The other side is, what can I do as a councilman to make sure that I'm bringing the word to the people and not just just to you as we're meeting in public or at an event or at a restaurant or grocery store, but how can I bring it to your mailbox? So when I first got elected, I sent a Christmas card to every single constituent. You should have gotten one.
I remember.
Had my, well, it's 2020, so I don't blame you, but I'm going to hold you to something else. So we sent a Christmas card to let everyone know who I was, what my email was, what my phone number was, and to thank everyone for, if they participated in the election, thank you. But I am your new city councilman. Here's my information. And we got a lot of reception from that. People calling me, hey, I just want you to have my number, or hey, this is an ongoing issue. I just want you to be aware of it. And it's working. And I save everyone's numbers, usually by their address or issue or, whatever. And it's how I get to know a lot of the names and the passions and the issues and the problems that people are experiencing in day-to-day life. But on top of that, in 2022, we redistricted our lines for the city government. And we do that after every single census. So we'll do it again after 2030. But when we redistricted those lines, Opelika is the largest geographically, north to south. And on the eastern side, which y'all in the south in Fox Chase.
Yep.
So we have a lot of area for potential and growth. And, our lines change a lot in Ward 5. And I saw the potential for that. So after we had negotiated and voted on what the lines were going to be, in last December, I sent everyone another Christmas card, every single constituent. Some constituents were new, some constituents were remaining. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to make sure they understand who I was, what my name was, what I looked like, and had my information. The other side of it, I wanted them to know that we had been redistricting. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but that I wanted them to be aware of the process and that they were changed into this other ward. And that's important because when we're looking at these lines, we try to do it to where if you're voting in a state or federal election, that your municipal location is still the same as that. But they don't always match up perfectly. And as hard as we try and as much as we might, it's always going to be different in some areas. So I always want every single vote to count. I'm someone who lost by 6 votes in 2018 when I ran for State House, so I know how crucial that is. So I wanted everyone to know what their voting location was and how they could register to vote. So we had a little QR code on there, tried to fit as much as we could into a Christmas card. But every resident got that, including yourself. And it's important because those are like the extra ways that I go as a city councilman to make sure that my constituents are the most informed. And what we're seeing right now with what the city's putting out and what we're talking about is people are now aware of some of these ward line changes. And I know that, when I'm door knocking and I'm telling people, especially in, the Westridge neighborhood, Catherine Drive, part of Douglas Street, Lisman, I tried to let them know that they are now in Ward 5. They were in Ward 2, but they're now in Ward 5, and they're going to be voting at the Sportsplex, which is going to be different from their state and federal elections. So I want to make sure that they know about it. So, and we're trying to tell as many people as possible because not many people I've noticed went to the QR code. So, but that's also, you're leading a horse to water, and just wanting people to make sure that they understand and are receptive to it. So I say all that, to focus on the point that as constituents and as residents, the communication between your local elected leaders is so crucial, and it's so important because sometimes it impacts the way that your vote counts. So if someone goes into another polling place and tries voting at Jeter when they do live in Ward 5, that vote more likely will not count. I mean, even if they do provisional. So we try to cut down on that as much as possible, but as we're navigating this through, with the administration right now and trying to get as much information out there as possible, I do have a little bit of comfort to know, like, I've thought ahead, and that's what I bring as a councilman, and kind of an understanding is what do I want? I'm the councilman that I would want my councilman to be like. I represent the people I would want to be represented. And I inform people the way that I would like to be informed, and I love to be informed. I can never ask too many questions, but this opportunity I get to do it for the people. So I try to be as inclusive, as equitable as possible, to make sure that everyone has the same opportunity to know who I am, what I'm about, and how their government is working for them.